Today we will get acquainted with Archangel Jophiel and Christine. Jophiel is the archangel of the second ray of wisdom, illumination, and enlightenment. He works with you through the crown chakra. You can see that color as a golden yellow. We're going to look at the chakra man. That is the 1,000-petal lotus chakra, the golden yellow chakra, which you can visualize right at the crown of your head. The opening of the mind of God in you is through meditation upon that crown and through embodying the flame of wisdom. The third eye is Archangel Raphael. It is green in color. The throat chakra, Archangel Michael. That is the blue. And then the heart chakra is pink. And we had Chamuel and Charity last evening, who are the angels of the third ray of divine love. There is the solar plexus chakra, which is purple and gold, and that is under Uriel and Aurora. The seat of the soul is violet, corresponding to the violet ray of Zadkiel and Holy Amethyst. The base of the spine chakra, the mother light, is Gabriel and Hope. So in this two-part seminar, we are taking each of the 7 archangels and speaking to you of the teachings that they have given to us over the years. Today, then, we are going to talk about how angels can help you contact your higher self. Last evening, we defined very carefully who exactly your higher self is. And that higher self is indeed the presence of Christ with you, which you can see as it is on the chart of the I Am Presence, next on the screen. So your real self is your higher self, and that real self we call the Holy Christ self. But it is also your chief guardian angel. So when we speak of our angels, our primary angel is that middle figure in the chart, who is actually the Christ presence. And he directs all of the other guardian angels that are sent to us by the 7 archangels that I have just named. So that is a brief background. Now we will remember that Jophiel and Christine, we visualize them in shafts of golden yellow light. They come to bring us enlightenment and to banish ignorance. I'd like to begin then with a record in the book of Acts regarding the angel of the Lord appearing to the evangelist Philip and then to Peter. Whenever you see in the scripture the words angel of the Lord, it means angel of the presence, angel of the I am that I am. The angel of the Lord means we are dealing with an archangel, because archangels fully embody the presence of God. And when they come and visit you, they bring to you that presence. For instance, when Archangel Michael appeared to Moses or to Joshua, in both cases he said, "Put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground." The archangel knows that he brings to you the presence of God, and he gives you that command so that you will recognize just what is the great energy and light and consciousness that comes to us when we meet an archangel. So the book of Acts records that an angel of the Lord appeared to the evangelist Philip and directed him to travel along the desert road that went from Jerusalem to Gaza. Acts says that on the way, the Spirit said to Philip, "Go up and meet that chariot." When he did, he met an Ethiopian who listened to him preach the gospel and then was baptized. An angel also appeared to Cornelius. Now, it doesn't say the angel of the Lord here, so this can be one of among the legions of the first angel who appeared. So an angel also appeared to Cornelius, a Roman centurion and a Gentile. The angel told him to send men to Joppa to find Peter. The angel even told him the exact location where the men could find Peter, at the house of the tanner Simon. The servants followed the angel's instructions, and they found Peter. The apostle returned with them to Cornelius' home, where he delivered a sermon. Cornelius received the gift of the Holy Ghost and was converted and baptized. Acts also records how an angel released Peter from prison. While Peter was in prison, the Christians of his church prayed for him without ceasing. The night before he was to be tried by Herod, Peter was sleeping between 2 soldiers, fastened to them by chains. Acts says, "The angel of the Lord came upon him, and a light shone in the prison. And he smote Peter on the side and raised him up, saying, Arise quickly. And his chains fell off from his hands. Then the angel said, Put on your belt and sandals, wrap your cloak around you, and follow me. They passed through 2 guard posts, and when they reached the iron gate leading to the city, it opened on its own. The angel walked with Peter along one street and then disappeared. Peter then went straight to the house of Mary, the mother of John Mark, where many people were praying. When Peter knocked at the door, a servant called Rhoda answered. She recognized Peter's voice and was overcome with joy. Instead of opening the door, she ran to tell the others that Peter had arrived. Since they all thought that Peter was in prison, the people said to her, You're out of your mind. Peter's not here, he's in prison. But she insisted that it was true. Then they said, It must be his angel. By this they might have meant his etheric double or his guardian angel. But Peter kept knocking, and when they opened the door, they were astonished because, of course, how could Peter have gotten out of prison? And he told them his story of how the angel had delivered him. So the Apostle Paul also had an encounter with an angel. I'm telling you about these encounters because I want you to put yourself in the place of these people, people like us. Even the disciples were people like us. They had encounters with angels, and you should be expecting your own encounters with angels. So when Paul was on board a ship that was in danger of sinking, he stood up and said, I ask you to give not way to despair. There will be no loss of life at all, only of the ship. Last night there was standing beside me an angel of the God to whom I belong and whom I serve. Very interesting wording of that, isn't it? An angel of the God to whom I belong and whom I serve. And the angel said, Do not be afraid, Paul. You are destined to appear before Caesar, and for this reason God grants you the safety of all who are sailing with you. The angels who rescued Peter and Paul were archangels. So these incidents in the lives of the apostles are no more distant from us today than they were distant from them 2,000 years ago. Angels are still with us, but sometimes their presence, their vibration, and our ability to feel them and to contact them is simply drowned out by the amount of noise that we are bombarded with through all of the inventions of the 20th century. We are hardly anywhere for any amount of time in the simple silence that people knew before we came into the electronic age. Count the moments in your day when the phone isn't ringing, the TV isn't on, something else isn't going on around you. And if we're not hearing the sound, we know that in the waves of the planet, all sounds are bombarding our senses. And so it takes a time apart and a special place to enter into daily meditation and to build a momentum of that meditation, especially if we would have direct communion with a mind of God. Angels are the facilitators of that communion, and specifically for the mind of God and the opening of the crown chakra, it is Archangel Jophiel. So, as I said before, he brings the wisdom of God, illumination, understanding, gnosis, your own self-knowledge in God. Archangels have divine complements because they are a part of the divine whole. Many of you know the symbol of the Tai Chi. So male and female created Elohim, Alpha and Omega, the Father, Mother, God. And so each archangel has his feminine complement, and they are called an archaea. Archaea and archaei are Greek words. The divine complement of Jophiel goes by the name of Christine. The crown chakra has 972 petals. If you think of a chakra as being an extension of God as a gift to you, whereby you might enter in to God's being while you are yet in the flesh, and you think of these 972 petals, or the descending number of petals for each chakra, you can think of each one as carrying its own specific frequency, as it were, or vibration, for the quickening of our minds. We are taught that we have the capacity to contain the mind of God. That's what Paul told us. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus, and in Gautama Buddha, and in all of the saints of East and West who have gone before us. So when you think of the vibration of the tingling of the crown chakra and the tingling of the light as it enters the brain and comes to the base of the brain and travels to that crown, and that tingling sensation, or sometimes it sounds in your ear as a waterfall when you're contacting the light. These frequencies of 972 petals gives us access to literally the infinite mind of God. There is only one universal mind. It's like the great computer of the mind of God, and we all tie in to that one computer, that one mind. What we have to recognize is that the brain can be the vessel for that mind, but we have to clear the brain. We have to unburden it of dense foods and substances that will cloud the mind. The Hindu name for this chakra is Sahasrara Chakra. The day when you feel this flame, the yellow flame of illumination, most potently on the planet is Sunday. Each of the archangels and other beings of light that minister to the earth have a retreat, and that retreat is in the heaven world on a plane that we call the etheric octave. These retreats can be located as corresponding to certain landmarks. And so the retreat of Jofil is south of the Great Wall near Lanzhou, north central China. Isn't it interesting that we associate the great wisdom of the ancients with the Chinese? The name Jofil means beauty of God. Some traditions say that Jofil is the guardian of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and the protector of seekers for truth. He is known as the adversary of those who pursue vain knowledge. He is said to have been the teacher of the sons of Noah. In some traditions, Jofil is identified with the angel Yefafia. Jofil is the prince of the law. He taught Moses the mystery of the Kabbalah. He is the archangel who sponsors the wisdom teachings of Lord Gautama Buddha, Confucius, Lao Tzu, and also ministers unto the Lord Christ and his disciples. Archangels are so ancient that they antedate even the creation of worlds. They are the very first beings whom God created. And so we can talk about Archangel Michael as he is today, 100,000 years ago. We still know the same archangel. It's astounding to me to think of how we have come and gone lifetime after lifetime, and these archangels and their legions of light have been forever in the being of God. Archangel Jofil once said that at times his angels form a column of light from here to the great central sun. We cannot even see or know where the great central sun is in our cosmos, but it is truly the hub of life, the hub of the spiritual, physical cosmos. And yet, there are so many legions of golden-flamed angels that they can form a column of light from here to that point, which is not even visible to us. When you think about Archangel Jofil and his legions, you can see them wearing golden robes. They appear as shafts of yellow fire from the sun. Angels are fiery beings. We read last night from Hebrews that they are flaming spirits created out of the flame of God. Their brilliance is almost blinding because these particular angels are occupants of the first band of color surrounding the white fire center of the causal body. These are the rings upon rings surrounding the great central sun, and according to the picture of the causal body, the center of the causal body is white fire, and the very next sphere that surrounds it is the golden yellow. So if you look toward the center of the sun and see these angels, they are simply one with the sun, and that dazzling fire of the sun tells you what power they have for the quickening of our minds. On New Year's Eve, 1991, in a dictation delivered through me by Gautama Buddha, there was the announcement of the coming of angels of far-off worlds who serve the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and the Christed ones on the second ray of God's illumination. They have come to Earth to dispel ignorance and will be here for the remainder of the decade. These have swelled the ranks of Jophiel's angels already present on the Earth tenfold. Reinforcements of the second ray will relieve them for decades to come, and each new band of reinforcements will remain with us for 10 years. Gautama said that this great boon will make possible the balance of the great Tao within you. How many of you here have studied Taoism a bit? Well, it's wonderful to hear the teachings of the Tao, and they bring a great peace to your heart and a new way of understanding the teachings of Christ. I found that my study of Taoism and the lectures that I've given on it, which are available on video and audio tape, that they gave me a new understanding of the words of Jesus Christ. I feel profoundly humbled by the great teaching that comes to us of the Tao. And so these angels of illumination's flame actually teach us the mystical paths of all the world's religions, the very heart of how God provided a path for different peoples to find their way back to an understanding of their real self, their real inner Buddha, their real inner Christ, and their I Am Presence. We'll put the chart of the presence up now so you can remind yourself of the 3 levels of your being. The upper figure is the I Am that I Am who appeared to Moses. The middle figure is that Christ self, the guardian angel, and the lower figure is you standing in the violet flame. Angels of Jophiel and Christine unveil the mysteries of God, and they expose the infamies of men and fallen angels. They are here to reveal what is hidden in government, science, education, medicine, food, health, AIDS, and other terminal diseases, the war on drugs, pollution, and the environment, the effects of music on evolution, and in just about everything that touches our daily lives. They have come on a mission to deliver us from profound levels of ignorance that are settling over this nation and every nation, starting with the earliest grades of children in school. Let's call to these angels and their legions of light to open doors into higher octaves that are inaccessible to us and to most people on earth today. What I want to do most of all in each of the lectures that I give to you on the angels is to make sure you feel comfortable about talking to angels, praying to them because they hear our prayers and answer them as emissaries of God, and that you do not feel that it is somehow awkward to address an angel. So, you want to contact your higher self. Is there anybody here who doesn't want to contact your higher self? So it's Jophiel who's going to help us do this. You want this to happen. You don't need flowery language. You don't need a long, sonorous prayer. You simply need to say, Beloved. We address the angels as beloved because they are the beloved of God, and it is a term of respect and devotion. Beloved Archangel Jophiel and Christine and legions of light, I need your help. Come to me now. Help me. Help my soul to make contact with my higher self. I want to commune with that part of me. I want to become my higher self here on earth. I want to be able to do those greater things that Jesus promised me I would do because he is in the heart of the Father. O Jophiel and Christine, correct me, reprove me, show me what is acceptable and not acceptable in the sight of God. Teach me the way. I am but a child. I would learn. I would listen. Come into my house, help my children, help my marriage, help my family, help me in finding the job I need to support myself and those who depend on me. This is the way you talk to angels. It's the way you talk to God. It is a prayer of the heart. Your heart is on fire with the love you have for God and his angels, and on fire with the desire to truly walk in the shadow of the Almighty. Talk to them about whether you need to go back to school, get another degree, study at new levels so you can help more people. Talk to them about your divine plan and ask for that assistance. Talk to Archangel Jophiel as if he were standing 2 feet in front of you right now. He hears every word, and God created him many, many eons ago, so that when you would be here in the Twin Cities wanting to find your path, Jophiel and his legions would be there. Before we're going to take up this crown chakra meditation, I'd like to take you back to page 1. Because when we do the crown chakra meditation, we are seeking to make contact with our I Am presence. So on page 1, the first blue page, number 2, you see the throat chakra meditation. What this meditation gives us, it's an affirmation. We are acknowledging that the God presence who is with us, whom we call our beloved I Am presence, is the master in our life. If you will look at this, the words of this little mantra, it says, I am presence, thou art master. And when you acknowledge God as your only master, then you are saying that nothing else is your master. Not fear, not doubt, not anger, not a new car or money or greed or this or that. It's very important to get straight right now when you begin the path of association with the archangels. There is only one God, and that you need to kick out idolatry from your life. The idolatry of yourself, of other people, of the rich, the famous, the powerful, the this, the that, and the next thing. Most of the time we don't know that we serve idols, but most of us do. And many times it's just the idol of our outer self. So when we affirm that the I Am presence is the master of our life, and we let go of all the other rubbish of lesser gods that we keep in our household, then the power of God descends in such a flaming presence. And when you feel that power of God descend, you are so humble before it, you could not possibly consider any longer making of yourself an idol. The mantra says, clear the way. That means clear out all the garbage. I don't want it anymore. I don't want to carry around this baggage. Just clear the way. This is your temple. This is your life. I am your servant. Enter now and just clean house. Let thy light and all thy power take possession here, right here in my heart, in me, in my mind, in my being. Take possession of me, God, and exorcise from me all that I have allowed to possess me. Charge me with the mastery of victory. Blaze blue lightning through me. And this is for the recharging of our beings, polarized to God. Blaze thy substance through me, into this thy form descend, that your perfection and your glory shall blaze forth through me, and I shall one day transcend the earth. That is the meaning of the prayer. It clears the way for all other meditations in your chakras. Let's give it now with joy and with the authority of our real self. Remember what they said about Jesus? He didn't speak like the scribes. He spoke as one who had authority. When you speak in the heart of your real self, you speak with that authority. And what are you commanding? You're commanding light, the light of God, to coalesce in you according to this particular prayer. It's different for each prayer. So let us say this, each one of us, as it is most meaningful to each one of us. Together. I am presence, thou art master. I am presence, clear the way. Let thy light and all thy power take possession here this hour. Charge with victory's mastery. Blaze blue lightning, blaze thy substance. Into this thy form descend. That perfection and its glory shall blaze forth and earth transcend. I am presence, thou art master. I am presence, clear the way. Let thy light and all thy power take possession here this hour. Charge with victory's mastery, blaze blue lightning, blaze thy substance. Into this thy form descend. That perfection and its glory shall blaze forth and earth transcend. I am presence, thou art master. I am presence, clear the way. Let thy light and all thy power take possession here this hour. Charge with victory's mastery, blaze, blue lightning, blaze thy substance into this thy form descend, that perfection and its glory shall blaze forth and earth transcend. Now we will turn back to page 4 for the crown chakra meditation, which is number 10. First of all, I'm going to tell you how we're going to do this. When you engage in a chakra meditation, you put your left hand over your heart. It's over the physical heart, but it extends to the center of your chest. You might want to do that while I'm explaining this. So you put your left hand over your heart and your right hand on the chakra you wish to activate. You are now making contact with your I Am Presence when you do this. So since we want to activate our crown chakra, we will take our thumb and our first 2 fingers and put it right at the point of the crown. That's the fontanelle, the soft spot. You can touch that and visualize now a bright yellow flame leaping and pulsating from the point of that fontanelle on your head. Now what is happening is your left hand is taking the fire of your heart and your right hand is using that fire to quicken the chakra, which now is the crown chakra. When we are in this position, then we speak to the flame, for the flame is the extension of God's presence. So if you need one or the other of your hands, you'll just have to use that hand to be able to read this mantra, or maybe you can read it in your lap now. So let's say it together. Now you're going to speak to this flame, remember. The flame of God and the light of God is self-luminous, intelligent substance. It is God. It is a manifestation of God. So we speak to the flame this way. O flame of light, bright and gold, O flame most wondrous to behold, I am in every brain cell shining, I am in light's wisdom all divining, ceaseless flowing fount of illumination flaming, I am illumination. Say this with all the joy of your heart, the expectancy, the absolute conviction that Jophiel now is establishing this flame in the crown chakra and in the head area. When I say this, I'm in the biggest smile that I can even think of, because I'm so happy that I'm able to have the time to do this little chakra meditation right now. O flame of light, bright and gold, O flame most wondrous to behold, I am in every brain cell shining, I am in light's wisdom all divining, ceaseless flowing fount of illumination flaming, I am illumination. O flame of light, bright and gold, O flame most wondrous to behold, I am in every brain cell shining, I am in light's wisdom all divining, ceaseless flowing fount of illumination flaming, I am illumination. Now remember, our focus is how angels help you to contact your higher self. Angels help you through the mantra we just gave, through the exercise I just showed you. The more you meditate on, pour your love and devotion to, use the science of the spoken word, exercise the power of speech, exercise it to affirm God where you are coming into consonance with your real self. And the Holy Christ self, that is the center figure on the chart, that Holy Christ self is gradually descending over your form, even as you sit here and you go through these devotions, by your very pouring of your heart's love to God and making that contact and acknowledging your higher self and the angels as intercessors. That Christ self is drawing nigh to you, as the scriptures say, draw nigh to me and I will draw nigh to you. So when you put all of these things together, you establish a pattern. It is a ritual of communion with God, and you will see how your aura will change. Not only will your Christ presence, the middle figure, drop over you gradually by increment as you establish love and light in your aura, but the angels will be very happy to frequent your aura, and they will come and stand in your aura and magnify and multiply your aura for the work that you have to do each day, because they are your very willing helpers.
You're watching Elizabeth Clare Prophet, world-renowned author and founder of Summit University. Summit University is located at the beautiful Royal Teton Ranch in Park County, Montana, just north of Yellowstone National Park. If you'd like more information, call 1-800-245-5445. That's 1-800-245-5445.
So now we're going to take the salutation to the Son of God. This is a perfect way to start your exercise session for the day, or your yoga, or anything else you might be doing that's physical. You can begin with a salutation of the sun, and thereby consecrate your physical body, your desire body, your mental body, your memory body to God. This is number 8, page 4, the first mantra. Together. O mighty presence of God, I am in and behind the sun. I welcome thy light which floods all the earth into my life, into my mind, into my spirit, into my soul. Radiate and blaze forth thy light. Break the bonds of darkness and superstition. Charge me with the great clearness of thy white fire radiance. I am thy child, and each day I shall become more of thy manifestation. When you see the word I am written, remember it is the name of God. God gave to Moses his name and said it was for all generations. So when we affirm I am, we are really saying, the I am presence of me, the I am that I am, who is my real self, is taking the action that you say following the word I am. I am thy child, and each day I shall become more of thy manifestation. So as we go on through these mantras and the teachings, you will see that we use the I am affirmation a great deal. Each time you affirm it, each time you say that verb to be in the first person, you are drawing down into yourself whatever follows. And of course, you all know if you say you're sick and tired and this and that, that's also what you become. Archangel Jophiel and Christine are teachers of mankind. Their legions of angels are teaching you every day. The thoughts of angels pass so easily into our minds that we say, I have an idea. We are so accustomed to saying to ourselves that our ideas are our own. Have you ever taken a step backwards and out of yourself and just observed your mind? Do you observe your mind when you get an idea? One moment, you didn't have a thought in your head about how you were going to do anything, and the next moment, there's the idea, there's the plan, there's the blueprint. Inventors invent. People figure out how to do things. I'm always in awe of the mind of God. The brain, of course, is a magnificent instrument, but I see it as a chalice, and the central nervous system, and the subconscious, and the unconscious, all different chalices that we have as receptors of the intelligence of the mind of God, and of course, including the spiritual chakras. How many of the ideas we get that set us sailing in our careers and enable us to be successful, how many of those ideas really originate in the human brain, and how many of them really come from the higher mind, from the God presence, from the universal intelligence? I am continuously humbled before the intimations of God that I receive and people receive that simply, in my mind, could not have come forth from myself, but are truly a gift. And so when we work with the angels of the second ray, that is what we are working with, to actually become totally bonded to the higher self, so that the Christ presence in the center of the chart is no longer above you, but fully integrated with you here below. And that is the nature of the great avatars of all ages. Jesus Christ was fully the manifestation of the Son of God, the incarnation. He set the example and the pattern of what all could do. So quickening our capacity to attune with the universal mind of God is what we are about today. And it's the job of the angels of the second ray of wisdom and enlightenment to rescue the world from ignorance, ignorance of the laws of God, ignorance of their own true identity in God. The sages of East and West define ignorance as blindness to the true nature of the real self and the unreal self. Gautama Buddha taught that ignorance of one's true nature causes inordinate desire, which is the basis of all suffering, and the reason why we keep on coming back to the earth, why we keep on reincarnating. The texts of Hinduism teach that the origin of pain is ignorance, and that it will not cease until ignorance is entirely dispelled. You know, we never know just how ignorant we are until we gain just a little bit more enlightenment, and then we look back and say to ourselves, gee, I was really dumb. And then we get to the next level and we look back and we weren't too bright then either. So each day is kind of a proving of what really is the wisdom of God and what is the education of man. So the origin of pain being ignorance, it will not cease until ignorance is entirely dispelled, and we will not know when it is entirely dispelled except from the standpoint of our own enlightenment. You will accomplish this when you realize your true self to be Brahman. Hindu scriptures teach us that within our heart is the Atman, and the Atman is like a miniature replica of God, who is Brahman with the word in the beginning. So we think of that real self, that figure in middle figure in the chart, as above us, but also in the heart there is a threefold flame. There is the Christ presence, and there is the voice of that inner presence speaking to you. Remember, Christ is not a Christian word. It just is a Greek word that means one who is anointed with light. So the one who is anointed with light within you is your true self. You will find on the back cover of this booklet Vedic mantras that affirm that you are in the presence of Brahman, that you are Brahman, that the consciousness of Brahman is your consciousness. If you would like to try an Eastern mantra, maybe some of you have never given one, why don't you try these with me now? They're the 4 little mantras on the back of your book, all the way and back on the outside cover. Tattvam asi, 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 tattvam asi.
Aham Brahma Asmi, 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 Aham Brahma Asmi. 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 I am Atma Brahma. 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 Pragyanam 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 Brahma.
This is another means of contacting and becoming your higher self, understanding the profound truth that God in the person of Atman, in the person of the Christ self, is in you, and that that is your point of reality. In my own heart, I know, and I am convinced that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. It does take nothing from Jesus that I should enter into the various traditions of the mystical paths that all lead to the one God. Some of you know about the Ascended Master Kuthumi, known to Theosophists as the Master KH. He was also embodied as Saint Francis of Assisi, and he gave us his I Am Light decree with a meditation and visualization that he teaches in Chapter 6 of Studies of the Human Aura. Kuthumi gives instruction as to how to go about giving I Am Light, which is number 12. First of all, your meditative posture, preferably, is with your feet flat on the floor and your hands cupped in your lap, or the half lotus or the full lotus. So you begin by visualizing the threefold flame expanding from within your heart. When you visualize that threefold flame, the second step is to seal yourself and your consciousness in a globe of white fire. This is the divine spark, 1/16 of an inch high in all of us. You can increase its intensity and its height, by your love, by your wisdom, and by your understanding of the will of God and embracing it. So it is actually a focus of the Trinity within you. The blue represents the Father, the power, and the law. The yellow is the Son, the wisdom and enlightenment, and the pink is the Holy Spirit. Not shown on this particular drawing is a globe of white fire at the base, which represents the Mother. So the threefold flame must be balanced. But because we've been away from God so long, from the center of his being, even the threefold flame has gotten out of balance. Some people have more wisdom than they have heart, or they have more power than they have heart, and so the size of the relative plumes may be off. So we even have a prayer for balancing the threefold flame. What I'd like you to do simply right now is to take this pattern, this visualization of the threefold flame, and see it superimposed upon you. The blue would be on your left, the pink on the right, and the yellow in the center. So you just take it upon your heart chakra as it is shown. Can you close your eyes and transfer that image to your heart? See it there. You can see it much larger than a 1/16 of an inch, right? And that's the center of your chest. So that is the sacred fire and the divine spark that God has given to you. It's the one part of you that is immortal right now. The threefold flame rises to the level of the etheric body at the change called death. And when you occupy your etheric body between embodiments, you still have your threefold flame. So I'm going to begin now with this visualization. Visualize your threefold flame in your chest cavity, the blue plume to your left, the yellow in the center, the pink to the right. It is pulsating. It is the spiritual fire. And through that fire we receive the breath of life from the Holy Spirit. And through that fire the Holy Spirit withdraws the breath of life at the conclusion. Now that you see that flame, please visualize around yourself a globe, as though you were standing inside of a globe. This globe is white light. You are sealed inside this globe, protected in it, and as you contemplate the globe, you visualize the white light that makes it up being intensified until this globe becomes intense white fire, and you are sealed in this sphere of God's consciousness from your higher self. This again is another way that the angels teach us to make contact with our higher self. Now you are set with your visualization and with a force field of protection, and so you proceed to recite the following words with utter humility and devotion. Let us say them together. I am light, glowing light, radiating light, intensified light. God consumes my darkness, transmuting it into light. This day I am a focus of the central sun. Flowing through me is a crystal river, a living fountain of light that can never be qualified by human thought and feeling. I am an outpost of the divine. Such darkness as has used me is swallowed up by the mighty river of light which I am. I am light. I live in light. I am light's fullest dimension. I am light's purest intention. I am light, flooding the world everywhere I move, blessing, strengthening, and conveying the purpose of the kingdom of heaven. Let's take it 2 more times with great joy and absolute affirmation that each line we say is manifest from the heart of God. Together. I am light, glowing light, radiating light, intensified light. God consumes my darkness, transmuting it into light. This day I am a focus of the central sun, Flowing through me is a crystal river, a living fountain of light that can never be qualified by human thought and feeling. I am an outpost of the divine. Such darkness as has used me is swallowed up by the mighty river of light which I am. I am light. I live in light. I am light's fullest dimension. I am light's purest intention. I am light, flooding the world everywhere I move, blessing, strengthening, and conveying the purpose of the kingdom of heaven. I am light, glowing light, radiating light, intensified light. God consumes my darkness, transmuting it into light. This day I am a focus of the central sun. Flowing through me is a crystal river, a living fountain of light that can never be qualified by human thought and feeling. I am an outpost of the divine. Such darkness as has used me is swallowed up by the mighty river of light which I am. I am light. I live in light. I am light's fullest dimension. I am light's purest intention. I am light, flooding the world everywhere I move, blessing, strengthening, and conveying the purpose of the kingdom of heaven. I think you would enjoy the chapters that precede and follow this teaching in Kuthumi's book. This is our trade-size book, Studies of the Human Aura by Kuthumi and Intermediate Studies of the Human Aura by Dwal Kul. This was written down by Mark Prophet, and this was written down by myself. The two books are in one volume in this Human Aura, and these two, of course, have the exercise in them. Jophiel and Christine and the angels of wisdom teach you how to contact your higher self. Jophiel says that you need to educate the heart, the mind, and then the soul. He says, think of the ancients who walked the earth and knew the thoughts of God when God thought them. In our time, the goal of education on earth has been to accelerate the computer of the mental body. Direct communication with God through the threefold flame of the heart chakra is wanting. Yet without the discriminating intelligence of the higher self, man is little more than a computer, a flesh and body machine. That's why from the hour of conception, parents must begin and continue the ritual of the education of the heart, the mind, and the soul. Then man will realize his potential to become a son of God. Archangel Jophiel is specifically concerned about the deplorable state of education in the United States. His angels are relentless in their warfare against ignorance, mental density, and mediocrity, as these affect the minds of educators and students and lower the standards of institutions of learning. He says that these negative attitudes detract from the crispness of the Christ qualities that belong to and are the inheritance of the children of the sun. Your call to Jophiel and his legions compels their answer. This is the law of God. Angels were created by God to be our caretakers. When we call to them, and our call is according to the will of God, they are compelled to answer and to assist us. We don't always see the obvious answer, but in this way and that way and roundabout ways, we find things coming together in our lives. The Archeia Christine says, call to me to intercede before the cosmic Christ in your behalf, to release advanced teaching methods to the parents, teachers, and sponsors of youth. Will you not pray that the world teachers and the hierarchies of illumination might release to instructors in every field as well as to yourselves new and advanced methods of teaching all subjects? We have released methods through Maria Montessori and many other educators. There is so much more that we can deliver to those who will listen. Jophiel will teach you how you can commune with the mind of God and experience self-knowledge. The angels of wisdom are ready and waiting to help you, at your signal, absorb the elements of the mind of God. Archangel Jophiel once remarked, Do you know that a single mind transformed by the mind of Christ is a catalyst for quickening the minds of the population of an entire planet? That is what the Christ incarnate, the Buddha incarnate, can do.
For more information on how angels can make a difference in your life, call toll-free 1-800-245-5445. The preceding program was presented by Summit University, Box 5000, Livingston, Montana, 59047 5000. If you'd like to know more, call this number or write this address. For a free book on the spiritual path, call 1-800-245-5445. That's 1-800-245-5445.